And so Brewer proposes that we turn to Kenneth Burke's terministic screens, right? And she writes that Kenneth Burke, Kenneth Burke explained that we are always using terministic screens. It is the way we understand the world, and there is no understanding outside of terministic screens. She asks that when we think about design space and the language we use within it, we think of it as transforming our terministic screens and vocabularies in order to transform our design practices. She asks us, how can we change our language practices and design use in ways that allow safer spaces to enter our terministic screens? We think of terministic screens as this pair of glasses the image to the left shows, in which Brewer uses in her text. We can think of the way that mentally ill, that terminology might paint a very flattened way of looking at these psychiatric issues, right? And so we note this terministic screen is black and white. It's flattening, and it's dangerous because it treats a spectrum in such a flat way. And instead, we might look towards a more neurodiverse look at the brain and psychiatric issues, and in doing so, we can sort of do a better job of anticipating the various issues that might come up for individuals across a variety of spectrums. So what's in a label? And the big insertion she goes with is moving from mentally ill to psychiatrically disabled. She notes that many disability scholars and activists object to the term mental illness because it emphasizes a biomedical approach to disability that focuses exclusively on fixing or curing disability rather than understanding or integrating disability. In contrast to this biomedical perspective, she recommends the term psychiatric disability because it includes sociocultural understandings of mental difference and distress, and that allows us to see a larger spectrum. So then she starts to focus on fostering. She says there are two tenets of the movement that I'd like to focus on because they suggest ways of fostering more welcome, safer spaces for psychiatrically disabled people in our institutions. And this includes more inclusive language as well as community support. And to talk on these issues, I'm going to now hand the mic over to my friend and colleague, Alyssa.